Hi, this is Mitch Doan, and along with Jamie Richardson, we're your hosts of the Break-Thru Active podcast. We aim to deep dive into health and fitness that will help bring you a better understanding of topics that are of interest to you and can help you on your own journey. If you are enjoying the episodes, we'd love for you to leave us a rating on the platform you listen to your podcasts. Enough from me, sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. Hello and welcome back again to the Break-Thru Active podcast. My name is Mitch. I am your host, and we have one of our fantastic members, Carolyn, with us. She is from our Adamstown location. So thanks a million for coming on today, Carolyn.
Thanks, Mitch. It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
This is a monumental day for Carolyn too, actually, and this was not planned at all, but do you want to tell everyone what today was and what you guys celebrated?
Yeah, well, today we celebrated, so I go to the 6:45 class in the morning, and we celebrated 100 visits actually.
How good.
Yeah, which was awesome. I clicked over a couple of days ago, but the ladies have gotten into a habit of wearing a different colour whenever there's a major milestone, like 100, 200, 300 visits, or less, or 50 visits. So it's just a nice thing to do. So we're working through the colours of the rainbow at the moment, and today was orange, which was great. Yeah,
you're gonna run out of colours. You might need to get some out of the ordinary ones like aqua and
that's it, cerulean, and a couple of other weird colours I think we'll have to throw in. Yes.
Is orange your favourite colour, or did you just run out of all the other ones?
Oh no, to be honest, I wear a lot of black. So when this happened, everybody was, I was like, I've got black in my wardrobe and that's about it. So I'm having to go out and buy the colours, which is great. I love that. I think orange was just because we'd gone through the colours of the rainbow. It's like red, Kim was red on Monday, then it's orange, Brenda will be yellow on Monday, next Monday. So we're sort of going through the spectrum, so to speak. But it's really nice because it's like lots of milestones happening at the moment, and they're lovely ladies, so it's good.
It's cool. And yeah, black doesn't really have the same celebratory effect as orange, I don't think.
Not quite. People wouldn't really notice, I think, if we all took wearing black, it wouldn't really make an impact.
That's one of the few things I remember from science in high school is Roy G. Biv. If you know that. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. That's all the colours are.
Oh, okay. There you go.
There you go. You're learning. Roy G.
I am learning. I didn't know that. I didn't know that one. So I'll commit that one to memory.
Maybe it's been replaced by something new, because I have said that to other people and they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But
yeah, no, I've heard CMYK and stuff, but that's different. That's a whole different thing. Yeah.
Don't want to get too sciencey because that's all I know. So you can't ask me much else. No, thanks again for coming on. Just want to talk a little bit about your time with us since you started at the beginning of the year, but also what you had done previously. You've moved up from Sydney to Newcastle, so obviously a little bit of a lifestyle change for you. So might start there. What brought you to Newcastle from the big?
Well, I did live in Sydney for about 20 years, so most of my adult life, but I actually moved up from Melbourne. I was in Melbourne before Newcastle.
Oh, true. Sorry.
That's okay. So it was pretty career focused. Most of the time was working in communications, corporate affairs type jobs. Was down in Melbourne for about 6 or 7 years, working for a wine company, of all things, a large wine company, running their team of comms people. And I've got family up here. So my mum used to live up here. She's passed away, but I've got 2 brothers who live up here, and I've always come up here for holidays and stuff and thought I'd like to slow down at some point. And then toward the end of, we obviously had a really weird couple of years with COVID. So I was stuck in Melbourne for those lovely lockdowns, and I think that just expedited the decision to move north and get some sunshine and just slow down. And because I run my own business now, it's easy. It was easy for me it was a good time to transition and move without having to disrupt work too much. So
cool. Yeah. This could be wrong, but I did hear that Melbourne has had more lockdown time than any other city in the world.
You'd be right. Wow. Absolutely. It's not a nice title to own, to be honest, but I think we were the most locked down city in the world at one point, which was kind of embarrassing, and it really did stretch on. It was a bit miserable toward the end, that's for sure. Yeah.
When you were in Melbourne, were you doing any fitness stuff? Were you doing like gym work or your own? I mean, obviously when you're locked down, it wouldn't have been gym stuff, but talk a little bit about what you've done previously, exercise-wise.
Yeah, sure. So I've on and off, I've been a member of a gym on and off, as an adult. In Melbourne, I would do a little bit of running. So I was doing a little bit of jogging. And when I say running, more of a shuffle than a run, but, trying to punch out 5 or 6 Ks. I lived near the river, so that was a nice track to go on, or would run around the botanical gardens. And there was a period when I was a member of a gym, and I was doing circuit style training, I suppose, similar to Break-Thru. And I did that for a short period and I enjoyed that as well. But I've also been a member of the bigger gyms like Fitness First, where you just go in and sort of join the classes and do that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of familiar with different gym setups, but I will say I've been in and out of doing it. I sort of lost motivation there for a long time and wasn't motivated to go really much at all. So it was a bit of a waste, to be honest. I wasn't really using it for a very long time.
Yeah, and that's the challenge a lot of people face, and it's that consistency aspect of it. And if you are doing things here and there, I mean, it's good to make you feel good, and you have moments of motivation and then moments when you're not. But it's sort of that yo-yo effect of I'm doing it for a while and then I stop, and then I do it for a while and then I stop. And we sound like broken records a little bit because we really harp on that consistency, because we know that when you are doing it continuously over a period of time, that's when you really do, reap the rewards of doing it, getting up early and exerting yourself and putting in your time, money and energy to do it all. But yeah, it's interesting that, you came from Melbourne, because obviously that was a very different dynamic the last few years. So when you moved up to Newcastle, you probably did a little bit of searching, but how did you come across us?
Well, I live like, I can almost see your gym from here. I was walking, like I literally live 30 seconds away. So that's a big bonus. But I was walking up and down the road actually, and I walked past and saw everybody exercising one day. And I went, oh, that looks interesting. What's everyone doing? Throwing kettlebells around and stuff. And then it was just weird, because at the same time, I think I got a Facebook ad, a sponsor. I must be looking at fitness. So I got an ad for Break-Thru, and I kind of went, oh, that's the gym just there. Here I am. I check it out, clicked the inquiry button, and then lo and behold, I think you called a day or two later. So cool. That's kind of how it all happened. Yeah.
You didn't see like a bunch of women running up and down the street in orange tops?
No, I don't think they weren't all in the same colour that day, I think. It's just random.
Mustn't have been a milestone day.
Yeah, no, I think it was a random group of people. But I will say I can be a bit skeptical, to be honest. Like, I'm a little bit suspicious of new things, if I'm honest, to start with. So when I first spoke to you, I was like, I'll give this a go, but we'll just see how it goes. Like, I was, not jumping in, if I'm honest, full-heartedly at the beginning. But it's just grown since then. Yeah, definitely.
That's where, and we like people to be able to come and check it out for a few weeks. We do a bit of an intro program like we did with you. I think it's sort of somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks normally, because we want people to come in and see if it's something that they enjoy, see if it's something that works, into their life and schedule and everything like that. And and then obviously if they do like it, they stick around, and, you're still here 7 months on. So what did you like about it?
Well, gosh. Well, first of all, I liked the fact that it was a fairly relaxed environment when you walked in. So it didn't, how it can feel a bit intimidating sometimes if you go into a gym and everyone knows what they're doing, and all of a sudden you're just trying to keep up with a class, or you're wandering around the weights room trying to work out equipment. But it was very welcoming. I think you guys were really attentive with new members off the bat. So I remember my first day, I was there with a couple of other new people, and you were there with another instructor, might have been Brody, and you were just next to us the whole time, so which was great. So it was like you were taking us through the exercises, and so we didn't feel intimidated at all. So that was my first impression, going, okay, well, they're paying attention to new members, which is great, and showing us the techniques. And then from there, I love the fact that the classes are all different. Like, they all no two classes really exactly the same. You mix everything up. And then as time kind of passed, like the first week I was a bit like every muscle in my body is aching. I hate this. I don't know. Because it was really been a long time since I'd exercised like that. But then you get into a rhythm, and the next thing I noticed was like the members as well as the instructors. Like it sounds a bit, a bit cheesy, but the members are as committed as the instructors and the owners, because they're all encouraged. You just get a little tap on the shoulder from somebody. I think Natalie or somebody just went, "You're doing so well." And it's just those little comments that sort of give you a little bit more motivation to keep coming, and just the friendliness of everybody. It's genuine. It's not forced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool to hear, because as much as I'd love to take credit for all of that, I really can't. Like, it's just the culture that has been developed over the years. And I think when our members see newer people coming in, and whether it is their first time or their first week or their first month, I think they know what it was like when they started, whether it was a few months ago or a year or 2 years ago. So they're always very supportive, and know that it is a big step for people. And like you mentioned, people when they start out, they're a bit unsure for, different reasons. You're not entirely sure what to expect, and if you're going to like it, and if, it's going to be what you want to do. But when you kind of get beyond that period, and you get beyond that first week of soreness, which is, pretty hard to avoid, and then you obviously you get into a bit of a routine there, and the members are, something that we take a lot of pride when we hear others say how helpful they've been, and almost like they're another set of eyes that help out with certain exercise, or there's, that's where those dumbbells are, or you go get your mat from here, and this is how you do this a little bit. And it again, it does sound a bit cheesy or cliche, but it just does become a big community and has a family-like feel. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the group of friends that you've made, because that's very, the friendships have definitely flourished, and had our trivia night recently, and you guys were all on the same table and everything. So talk a little bit about how that's manifested.
Yeah. So I honestly, I wasn't joining the gym to expect to genuinely be so social, if I'm honest. Like, I've been to gyms where everyone's friendly and nice, but you're polite to people, you go and do your thing and then you leave, and it's not really so bonding. Whereas it's just a natural thing that's kind of evolved. There's a group who tend to go regularly on a 6:45 slot every morning. There's a bunch of it's Katie, Edwina, Michelle, Jody, Brenda, and Lisa. I'm going to miss a few people, but
there's a big
group. There's a big group. And anyway, we just, I don't know. There's a couple of really strong social connectors in that group, and so we've just there's a little Facebook Messenger chat where we just sort of, talk about gym classes and stuff like that. And we've been out a couple of times for, a drink or for dinner, and then the trivia night happened. And so it's just a really lovely, I think we're all quite different in our own ways, but there's just a nice connecting bond there with the gym. And everyone's, like I said, everyone's super positive and friendly, and it's just it's a really lovely, inclusive vibe. And so, yes, we've been out for dinner a couple of times, and sort of try to arrange something every 6 to 8 weeks, which is really lovely.
Yeah. And there, you're right. I don't think there are too many. There are people that do, but not too many people who join a gym like ours because they want to make new friends. Like, that's not their primary reason why they do it.
No.
That's not something that we say. We don't say, "Hey, you're going to make all these great friends when you come in," because sometimes people don't. But it's it typically is a bit of a carryover effect, especially if you are spending a lot of time with people, 3 or 4 mornings a week, and you get to know each other a lot better. But it's just another layer of support and accountability with the whole exercise and consistency side of things, because when you've got a group who you're conversing with outside of the gym times, and planning you next, when you're coming in next, and you're planning events where you're going out for dinner, and we do a bunch of social events and things. So we just find that whole dynamic is just really helpful for people who are wanting to keep consistent with their training. They're more likely to do it when they have other friends and other people who are doing it too. And people surprise themselves because like you just said, you don't do it for that reason, but then you look 6 months later, you're like, oh, like I've got all these really good friends now. And Jamie and I, quite often we'll talk about there's not too many other, ways that you can have people who become friendly, different ages, different backgrounds, different jobs, everything's different about people. But the one commonality that they do have is that they work out together. And I think you form a little bit of a bond when you go through workouts together, and some workouts harder than the others, like the last couple of days. And I think just having that common bond of, we just do that together. And then that is just a way to sort of have that friendship flourish from there. But yeah, it's really cool for us to see all these people from all different walks of life that become friendly with one another. And there's not too many other ways in life, I think, that can really happen. So I think that's
totally.
really cool. So just before we finish up, I know like you said, you're running your own business and you're busy with that. How do you manage both? Because I'm a business owner too, and know there's a lot always happening. So talk a little bit about your work-life balance and how exercise fits in.
Yeah, sure. I feel quite lucky because I can be quite flexible. I think when you're your own boss, so to speak, you can build in a bit of flexibility. I juggle stuff, so I might work late some nights, or just balance my work around exercise. I mean, it's a real benefit for me to be so close to the gym because I know exactly how long it takes me 30 seconds to get there and 30 seconds to get back. So I can be back at my desk working by 8 o'clock, which I often am, for a 6:45 class and finishing at 7:30. So I'm quite lucky in that respect. I have found it's become a real part of my day-to-day routine. You talk about consistency, and it's now like I tend to, if I don't have something on or something in the road or a conflict, I try to go 5 days a week, which I really love. It just sets the day up. I will say my work-life balance is much better these days than it used to be, because I used to be in those corporate jobs, and I mentioned the gym in Melbourne, and the only time I found, which sounds ridiculous when I think back to it, but it's funny the things that you do, but the times I could go, which were when I knew I wasn't going to be bothered by anyone, was like a 5:15 a.m. class. And I did that for a while. I don't know how I did it. I only laughed about it. I think that's why it didn't last. Consistency. Like I'd have to get up at 4:45. And I know you guys run those early classes, and credit to you, but
it's a lot. And it for some people it is the only time of the day, and some people really make it work, but it is a challenge, like no doubt.
So I feel lucky at the moment. I can fit it in because I can be so I can work when I want to, so I can work on the weekends to make up, and no one's really paying attention to me arriving at work or finishing, so that's good. As long as I get the work done for clients, that's the most important thing. So I'm really taking advantage of that. I think that's the other thing that's worked for me as well, lifestyle. I've got the space right now to focus on the gym, and I'm enjoying it so much.
Well, it sounds like you've been, working in the corporate world for the last 20 years or so, and in Sydney and Melbourne, and they typically, people who live in those cities and work that type of work, it's not a great balance. But sounds like it was part of why you wanted to move to Newcastle too. So you did have a bit more time to do some of the things that you want to do, and obviously running your own business definitely makes that a lot easier. And living 30 seconds up the road also is a cherry on top. But
definitely.
No, I think from a professional standpoint, when we sort of talk about work-life balance with people, they need to come to that realization themselves. Like I can tell people till they're blue in the face that they should work less and take care of themselves a little more. But it's just ingrained in some people. Like it's just really, it's all they know. Like especially when people get to their 40s and 50s, they've been doing it for 25, 30, 35 years. They don't know what it's like to give themselves a bit of time to do some self-care, whether it is working out or going for a walk or, remedial massage or whatever that looks for people, because it just is something that's a part of them. But in your instance, and for most people who do make change, it's because they've realized that they want something different. And, that corporate life, which we don't really have a whole lot of here in Newcastle. Like, there are some people who obviously, do work those type of jobs in the city, but very different to Sydney or Melbourne or the bigger cities. How you see yourself being here for a while? You like Newcastle?
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm settled here, like I bought a place and I'm quite comfortable. Like I said, I've got family roots here and some friends here as well. And it's, it's a really nice, chilled city. It's kind of big enough to have what you need, but still, and beautiful beaches and stuff to do, but small enough for it to not to feel like you're on you're in the rat race, and you're on that hamster wheel just every day trying to battle.
Well, when I talk to people about it, I feel like it's got just about everything Sydney has to offer apart from an international airport, and then somewhere like the entertainment and things. Like, I think we still get some up here.
Totally.
Like Elton John's playing here, which is pretty cool. But apart from that, like whenever I go to Sydney, I was down there a few weekends ago. We went on a cruise and we sort of got to Sydney and then left from there. But whenever I go there, I always think like it's just amazing how busy it is and everyone's in a hurry and getting around. You don't get in your car to go anywhere. Like, everything's walking or public transport or bikes or Ubers. It's just a very, very different world. Like, it may as well be a different country, in my opinion, when you look at the difference.
Yeah. And look, it's amazing because you're right. Newcastle's got all the great things to offer. And I think a lot of people aren't aware of how great the city is yet. I think it might start to, more and more people might start to come here, and it's started to happen already. But the nice thing is, if you do want a taste of that, like if you do want a taste of the big city or whatever, it's only a couple of hours away. It's like, it's not, you jump on a train or drive and it's nothing really. So and I think that's the beauty of it. It's 2 hours on the train or hour and a half in the car, and you're back there if you are there for a weekend or something. But no, I'm a huge advocate for Newcastle. I feel like I'm a salesman for it. I'm like, this place is great. But because I grew up on the Central Coast, which is obviously not a big city, but that's like really, really laid back. And I like that Newcastle has like a bit more happening, and you don't have to drive. I don't know if you've spent much time on the coast, but it's like everything's very spaced apart. Like, it's 40 minutes to get from where I lived into Terrigal or Gosford. So Newcastle's still quite close. You can get from where you are at Adamstown to the beach in 10 minutes, and you can get to the other side of Newcastle in 10 minutes. Like, it's very accessible. Yeah, it's brilliant. And I love the beaches, and I love the city centre, even though it's not a centre, but it's really starting to come on. They're doing a lot of development down there, which is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Well, thanks again for coming on, Carolyn. It was cool to share your story and even for me to learn a little more about you. But congratulations on your 100 visits. That just happened to tie in with today, which was cool. But no, it's been great having you in the first sort of 6 or 7 months, and looking forward to having you with us moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Carolyn. See ya.
See ya.
Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If there is a topic you'd like us to discuss that we haven't already, please make sure you reach out in Facebook Messenger, and we'll do our best to cover it in the upcoming episodes. For those of you enjoying the podcast, we'd love for you to like, subscribe, and leave us a rating. It really helps us grow and spread the good word. Hoping you're all having a great day, and we'll be sure to see you on the next one.